Professor Poggiolini, thank you so much for talking to us tonight. My first question will be, what do you think was Margaret Thatcher's vision of the project of Europe at the end of the Cold War?
Well, I've been writing and thinking about her vision for quite some time, and I'm not arguing that the vision was something really different from what we think it was, but I'm just arguing that she had an idea of Europe which was different, alternative from the current idea, and which is quite interesting to explore, to understand better both what happened in terms of the transition in Eastern Europe and how the unification of Europe also proceeds after the end of the Cold War. So not a vision that according to a traditional view of visions, but certainly an idea of an alternative Europe.
Thank you. Secondly, what was her policy towards Eastern Europe?
Policy towards Eastern Europe was something that she was very much involved with and believed in. And I think it can be described as Ostpolitik, as an Ostpolitik by Britain, which can be compared to the German Ostpolitik. And actually there are more studies on this conducted now by historians which point out to the development of Ostpolitik not only in Germany but also in France, in Italy and, as I said, in Britain. And she saw that as a very important component of the future of Europe, because there would have been a major support to the liberalization in Eastern Europe, and of course by the time Gorbachev comes to power, that links very much with the idea of liberalization that Gorbachev has. So there's a kind of a link between her Ostpolitik and her support to Gorbachev and her vision of Europe as well.
And lastly, in what ways was her view of post-Cold Europe contradictory?
Well, her view of post-Cold War Europe didn't exist. That's what is the point. It is contradictory in the sense that what led her not to accept the end of the Cold War was, on the one hand, pursuing, as I said, the liberalization in Eastern Europe, on the other hand, believing that the structure of the Cold War and the security arrangement should never change and nuclear weapons should remain in defense of Europe and the West forever. So she did not see a possibility of a post-Cold War in that sense. On the other, the contradiction was between, as I said, they're not seeing the end of the Cold War in terms of the end of a system, but seeing liberalization in Eastern Europe has a possibility and actually something to support very much and devote policy to. So the contradiction is in the two sides of her belief not coming together.
Great, thank you.
Very much.